Hey guys, and welcome to episode 10 on our journey. We are still in Tasmania, or at least on the YouTube videos we are, but as I mentioned in the previous episode, we are back in Victoria, and at the moment we're staying at Edie Cutting, just south of Millawa, the wine district. Spectacular free camp, well worth checking it out if you get a chance, and we'll show more of that in a couple of episodes time. So episode 10 sees us go into old Richmond, having left Hobart, down to Port Arthur, and we do, yes, another hike, Cape Hoy, which is one I've been leading up to, and look, I must say, it is spectacular. Watch the footage, you'll see what I mean. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and all that sort of stuff. That's awesome. I should apologise too for Sammy's absence. She is feeling pretty much under the weather at the moment. So you've got me, fortunately or unfortunately, for this review and the summary and all the voiceovers as well. So I was flying solo. But hopefully we'll have Sammy's smiling face back on camera soon enough. Otherwise, guys, for the moment, grab a drink, enjoy, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Heading out on our own with our hope in the clouds. We're starting to see that we're onto something. Feel it coming now. Here we go. All we need is an open route and a chance to see a never-ending world that's beautiful. Here we go with the sunlight on our skin. It's a brand new day. It's ours to take, and we will let it in. This is where the adventure begins.
The Tasman Bridge is a bridge that carries the Tasman Highway over the Derwent River in Hobart, Tasmania. Including the approaches, the bridge has a total length of 1,396 metres and provides the main traffic route from the Hobart city centre on the western shore to the residential areas on the eastern shore. The bridge commenced construction in May 1960, with full completion by December 1964, before being officially opened on the 18th of March 1965. The Tasman Bridge is infamous for the incident that occurred on the 5th of January 1975 when it was struck by the bulk ore carrier Lake Illawarra. The collision brought down 2 pylons and 3 sections of the decking, killing 7 of the ship's crew, and 5 motorists died when 4 cars drove over the collapsed sections. Richmond is a town about 25 kilometres northeast of Hobart. Richmond is notable for its numerous old and heritage listed buildings and parks. Richmond was initially established as a pioneering district within Van Diemen's Land Penal Colony and later developed as a police district for the surrounding region after Governor George Arthur appointed a number of paid magistrates to oversee penal discipline in 1827. Arthur implemented this measure as a way of increasing penal order, punishing crime and keeping an accurate record of the movements and behaviour of all convicts. There are a number of things that you can do as a family in Richmond, and none more bizarre than the Pooseum, which is a quirky science museum dedicated to all things poo. To clear up any doubt, this museum is more about animal droppings. Animals see poo in a very different light to humans. For them, poo is a valuable resource. They use it to live and lay eggs in, mark their territory, catch a meal, and attract sexual partners. Feces are eaten, played with, and used for self-defence. Some animals evade their predators by looking like poo. I actually disagree with those that think this is a crappy museum. The old Hobart town village model accurately replicates in miniature the life and history of Hobart in 1820. This piece of living art consists of over 60 replica model buildings. The well-known and most photographed landmark in Richmond is the oldest bridge in Australia that's still in use. Built by convicts in the 1820s, It was made of sandstone and was completed in 1825 when Richmond was the third largest town in what was then called Van Diemen's Land. Tasmanian Gingerbread is a proudly owned and operated Tasmanian family business since 2007. The award-winning gingerbread and its products are handmade in the Hobart store, where you can also find Hobart's largest range of cutters and cake decorating supplies. The Richmond store is located in the beautiful Miller's Cottage on the Richmond Green, overlooking the river and the iconic Richmond Bridge. Sam and I both love ginger and its products, so needless to say, we stocked up on choc-coated ginger biscuits and flavoured ginger beer, including ginger beer and chili, which was rather interesting. So well worth a look is the Tasmanian Gingerbread store in Richmond. No visit to Richmond would be complete without going to the bakery, which is nestled in a nice little quiet courtyard, has a huge range of gourmet pies, cakes, biscuits and other goodies, and of course Tasmania's famous curried scallop pie, which has cult status in Tasmania, and all gourmet pie makers, including the Richmond Bakery, do their own version. And it was Sam's turn this time to taste, and you can see in the footage, I think she's enjoying it. Richmond Jail is a convict-era building and the oldest intact jail in Australia. Building of the jail commenced in 1825 and predates the establishment of the penal colony at Port Arthur, which was in 1833. One of the tasks completed by the convicts who were held at Richmond Jail was the construction of the Richmond Bridge. Most of the jail buildings have not changed since the 1830s, and they include a female solitary confinement cell, chain gang sleeping rooms, a flogging yard, a cookhouse, and other holding rooms. The buildings also feature historical relics and documents. So all the rooms have really good information boards. Needless to say, we're not going to sit here and read them all to you, but we are reading them. This one particular couple here, they're of interest. What have you picked out, Sammy?
John Davies, suspected of stealing a shirt, sentenced to 10 on the 10th of October 1837, 7 days in solitary confinement.
And only suspected.
Suspected. Where was the,
I like this other one down here
guilty
too.
prove innocent, or innocent till proven guilty?
Yeah, that's right. I like this other one. Where is he down here? Here he goes. James Wheeler, drunk in church, sentenced on Christmas Eve, 6 months on the road party.
Tough crime.
Yep.
What are you in for?
Marriage.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. Man gets less for murder, so I'd rather be here than be married.
Wow. So, no, you can leave them on, you can stay here.
Well, being married, it's like having leg irons on. The crime of not wanting to be married, you will face 50 lashes with a cat o' nine tails.
Only 50. Oh, Michael, that's a bit dramatic.
If you don't mind, a little privacy, please.
Okay, as you're driving in, guys, you've got this registration for your hikes and whatnot. So please make sure that you fill in your check-in and check-out for your hikes. And then just up there is the office where you check in for your sites.
Hey guys, and we are now on the Port Arthur side. So that's the East Coast. We've just hit the East Coast now, and we'll do Port Arthur tomorrow. So we're actually staying in the Fortescue Bay National Park at the Mill Creek campground. Really expensive, $13 a night.
It blew the budget.
Yeah.
Needs to go back to work.
So, but you do need to have obviously have your National Parks Pass as well. But we had that before we got off the boat at the Spirit of Tasmania, Devonport. So it's allowed us to get into
Which
all
is
the
a
national
cheaper
parks.
option, so don't forget that. If you're coming over on the Spirit, get your National
Park Pass
Park Pass
on board the boat.
on board the boat. Otherwise, you're up for more money. When
Yeah, it's not a
you're
lot
on
more,
land.
but it's a bit of a saving. But then that allows you've got it for a couple of months and allows you access to all the national parks. So all we had to do is pay the camping fee, and yeah, that was a really expensive $13 a night for
3 nights. For
this view. And you can see right in behind us there, that's the campsite. It's a big campsite, however.
OMG, I need a drink. Yeah, I was so stressed. Great, but there are so many bloody rocks around, and when you're 15 metres long, I mean, I know you guys are some longer than us, but we found it really difficult to get in. I
look-
stressed. I did.
I mean, look, needless to say, it wasn't that I didn't stress, but I was just trying to keep calm and collected going through. But it's not easy. It was pretty tight. And as Sam said, you know, there are other units out there that are longer than us. But we got in. We're here now. And I'll tell you what, we're looking forward to it. So tomorrow we're going to do the Pentecost Wilderness Boat Cruise down to Tasman Island.
Looking forward to
And then
that
straight
one.
after that, we're going to head around Port Arthur. And then the day after that, We're doing the
I'm
Cape.
gonna kill him.
We're doing the Cape. Hui, hoi, Hawaii, Wahoo. Anyway, someone comment down below and tell us how to pronounce it. But it's one of the it's one of the 3 capes. It's about a 10k walk. We've been building up to it. So we're going to do that on Tuesday.
Mike's gonna struggle.
No, I'm not. Fortescue Bay National Park, Mill Creek Campground, $13 a night. Give it a crack. This is site 41. It's the one closest to the boat ramp, and it is the biggest.
Early.
Is it? Sorry.
Book early.
Yeah, book early. Up to 6 months ahead. But yeah, we'll show you around, and we'll talk to you later, guys. Cheers.
I didn't think you'd like this, but clearly you do. You're well fed.
Oh, yeah.
Chicken noodles last night. Oh really? I think we're in for an absolutely amazing sunset.
Honey, so what's for dinner?
We've got lamb roll wrapped in prosciutto and some veggies.
And how are we doing it?
All on the induction cooker with our Mitts alloyed
Canopy
Setup.
set. Yep. So Mitts alloy canopy setup.
But what's better is I've got a view that looks like that.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at my kitchen. That's my kitchen. How amazing is that?
Sun just going down. It's pretty, isn't it? Pennicott Wilderness Journeys is a family business having started in 1999 and now operates 7 tours in southern Tasmania and 1 in southern Victoria. Over the 21-year history, Pennicott Wilderness has won many Tasmanian, Victorian and Australian tourism awards. In this case, we did the Tasman Island tour, and the footage shows how spectacular that tour was. The highlight for us was actually seeing Cape Hoy from the water level and looking up to where we were planning on hiking to the following day. Morning guys. Okay, hike challenge day. Cape Hoy, and we've been told that's how it's pronounced, Hoy. according to the All Trails app, 10.1 Ks, 500 and I think it's 510 meters vertical gain, 2,300 odd steps. So it is going to be a challenge. Yesterday we did the Pennicott Wilderness boat, and it stopped at one point at the bottom of Cape Hoy, and we could look up and see the lookout. That was pretty spectacular. So there's good motivation there, and you'll see that in the footage of the wilderness boat trip. Couple of things to remember when you're bushwalking, and realistically it doesn't matter whether it's a couple of Ks or it's 10 Ks or 20 Ks or whatever. Some important things to do is sign the register at the ranger's office or the booth, just detailing that you're leaving, what time you're leaving, where you're going, so that if you don't return at the time you're expected to, they know at least where you are. Always good to tell somebody if you're able to. Make sure you clothe up in layers so that you can layer up, layer down as needed. So I've got hiking boots on, I've got a pair of shorts on, a shirt and a shell jacket just to break the wind a little bit. But I've also got some track pants in the backpack. Sam will talk about what we've got packed in the backpack shortly. So check your All Trails app for the hike that you're doing. It'll give you details there. Sign in at the ranger's office or the booth to let them know that you're out and about. Check your weather apps so you've got an idea. So today we're looking at about 17 degrees. There's a bit of a breeze blowing. It's a little bit cool. It's probably not a bad day for a hike, but we've just got to be aware of the change of weather down here. Can be done pretty quickly. So a little bit more about the hike. Cape Hoy is one of the 3 capes in the 3 capes walk down here in Tasmania. Now the 3 capes hike in total takes 3 to 4 days. So we're just doing one section of that, and it's an out and back hike, so it's not a circuit or anything like that. But the 3 capes hike is actually world famous and very, very impressive if you've got 3 or 4 days to do a decent hike. All right, so I'll hand you over to Sammy. She'll go over the backpack, and then we'll get out there and give this a crack.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, yeah, as Micah said, we've layered up. I've got my active wear on, a jumper, a shirt, my hiking boots. We've got our backpack to put everything into, so I think I'll be carrying that just like I did the other day, so Mike can get going and keep going.
Wow.
Some warmer clothes, so Mike has only got shorts on, so we've got him some tracksuit pants just in case was required, but as Mike said, the weather can turn pretty quick here. I've got my shell jacket as well in case I need it. Got our first aid kit. It's only a little one, but it's a basics one for any sprains, breaks or whatnot that we can assist in, or snake bites with compression bandages and stuff like that too. Never know when nature calls, so we've got some toilet paper and some bags in case, so we can bring it back with us. But I only like leaving my footprints. I don't like leaving the rubbish lying around. So when nature comes, nature comes. Kangen water. So we've got one bottle. It's a 1 litre at this stage. I don't think we'll need any more than that because we didn't use hardly any for the 6K trek that we did the other day. Got some Scooby snacks here too. So we've got some muesli bars, got some apples. Don't know, just angle that down a bit, honey. So Mike's little favourite ginger nut biscuits, some lollies just for a bit of a sugar kick. I think everything's got sugar here, and some nuts. And more importantly, we've got a hiking pole each. I don't normally use one, but today I feel that we just may need to use it. So I'm going to pack all that into the bag. We're going to sign in and we're going to get going. So the challenge is set. We're prepared. Let's go, Mike.
Let's give it a crack. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. Show you the footage of this hike afterwards. Cheers, bye. So boot rubs, just to get any foreign matter off your boots before you enter this area. So here we are at the start of the Cape Hoy walk, and as I said before, it's one of the 3 capes in the 3 capes hike, which is a pretty spectacular hike, I'm led to believe. But here we go. It'd be nice if it's boardwalks all the way. Yeah, I bet you won't be dancing after 10Ks. Okay, so this is why it's important to have decent hiking boots. This is just the start of the climb. Make our way up.
Look at that view. This walk is hard, but it is so worth it. Just take you on this journey with me, because it's such a challenge, but it is such a rewarding challenge. Cape Hoy. It's not for your faint-hearted. Make sure you wear your right shoes. There's a lot of steps. They're made of stone. Please make sure you bring plenty to drink and some sugary lollies because you do need your energy. He's coming. He's struggling a little bit. We're nearly at the top. Keep going, sweet. Camp is just around that cape that Mike is on.
Okay, so
We did it!
we did it. Cape Hoy, 10 Ks, one of the 3 capes in the 3 Cape walk. Spectacular, and you'll see that in the footage. Well, you would have seen that in the footage. This is the summary. So 10 Ks, we did it in 4 hours. If we didn't stop so much and for photos and vids and stuff like that, you'd do it in probably 3. But
Well, we had a good half-hour break at the top,
Yep.
so you know. So we had a bit of a Scooby snack and a drink, and yeah, catch our breath and everything. So before we started heading back, so you know, realistically,
yeah,
we could have done it in 3 if we hadn't stopped.
that's it.
We needed to stop.
Well constructed track, very well constructed track. Lot of steps. They've had a stone carver get in there and do the steps up. They're pretty spectacular too. Just the track. So well constructed. Any child or even an elderly person, as long as they're fit and capable, could do the 10K walk. It's a 10K. It's 5Ks there, 5Ks back. So it's not a circuit or anything. Lots of steps involved, but like I said, any child or any elderly person, anyone in between, as long as you're capable, you can get it done.
Yeah, we passed
shit,
a
I did.
lot
So.
passed a lot of people, you know, passed or they passed us. I'm not
Yeah.
sure which. But, you know, there was, you know, a school group going through, and then there was a couple of older people, and they
Yep.
would have been into their 70s. So, you know,
Lots of family groups
take your
and
time,
all. Yeah.
enjoy it. There's views everywhere you
Views
go.
are phenomenal. But anyway, guys, Fortescue Bay is the campsite that we're in, as we've said a couple of times, and that's right at the start of the Cape Hoy walk. 10 Ks. The 3 Capes walk is about 3 to 4 days, and it's about 50 Ks. But I think I'm done with just that one.
You did well. Well done. All right.
Later, guys.
I'm hitting a shower. Got to cool this face down.
Cheers.
See ya.
Port Arthur is located about 97 kilometres southeast of Hobart on the Tasman Peninsula. Port Arthur was named after George Arthur, the Lieutenant Governor of Van Diemen's Land. The settlement started as a timber station in 1830, but is best known for being a penal colony. When you first enter, they say grab a card and match it off to a convict that was here.
Okay, so 3 of diamonds matched up. So then we open the drawer. And that brings us around to Peter Brannan, 13 years old, convicted and sentenced to 7 years transportation for stealing a handkerchief. Sent to Port Arthur. While at Port Arthur, Peter threw a stone at his overseer. He was locked in solitary for a whole week. He tried to cheer himself up by singing a song, but this was against orders. He was made to sit in the dark for 2 more days. Poor old 13-year-old Peter Brannan. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
From 1833 till 1877, Port Arthur was the destination for those deemed the most hardened of convicted British criminals, those who were secondary offenders having re-offended after their arrival in Australia. Rebellious personalities from other convict stations were also sent there, and in addition, Port Arthur had some of the strictest security measures of the British penal system. The Isle of the Dead is an island of about 2.5 acres and was the destination for all who died inside the prison camp. Of the 1,000 estimated graves recorded to exist there, only 180, those of prison staff and military personnel, were actually marked. The cemetery was closed following the demise of the Port Arthur settlement in 1877.
They herded us like cattle and sold us out of hand, and yoked us to the plough, me boys, to plough Van Diemen's land.
Scotsman David Hoy arrived in Van Diemen's Land in 1824. He was a ship's carpenter and boat builder. He went to Port Arthur as master shipwright in 1836 and remained there until he retired in 1848. Port Arthur was one of only 3 shipyards to use convict labour. The building was originally built as a flour mill and granary before being converted to the penitentiary you see now. The new penitentiary had 136 separate cells on the bottom 2 floors for those who one commandant called the Lions, prisoners of bad character under heavy sentence. They had to be separated from each other and from the better behaved. The men ate and slept here but worked around the site and across the peninsula. Above the cells was the dining hall, which doubled as a schoolroom at night, the prisoners' library of useful and entertaining books, and a Catholic chapel. On the top floor was a dormitory for 348 better behaved men. The building also contained a kitchen, bakery, prayer area, laundry, toilet block, exercise yards. The asylum was the last major structure to be built, and for many years the insane had been housed in a variety of buildings around the site. The original hospital can be seen in the background. The separate prison was built on a hill at the edge of the settlement. Its isolation and high walls were designed to threaten anyone contemplating disobedience with a mysterious and awful fate. When it was built, new ideas about reforming criminals were sweeping the world, and it was thought that physical punishment only hardened a man, but in a quiet, ordered, silent atmosphere, a man could contemplate his sins and change his life. A new kind of building was to deliver this new system.
On 28th of April 1996, a single gunman entered the Port Arthur establishment and killed 35 people and wounded 23 others. I'll refrain from stating his name, but you can look up further information. Out of respect for those that passed and for those that survived and may still be working at Port Arthur, we chose not to film the memorial area or discuss the incident in great detail. But in brief, the majority of the victims were killed in the shooting spree at the Port Arthur historic site, the single gunman using 2 semi-automatic rifles at the small cafe and gift shop before moving amongst the property. The perpetrator was eventually captured
and subsequently sentenced to 35 consecutive life sentences.
Oh. Cape Hoy. How good were the views? And it was actually really cool for us to do the Pennicott Wilderness Journey boat and see it from below and then from above the next day. Pretty spectacular. It was a tough hike, but it was one absolutely worth doing. And geez, I'd love to do the 3 capes at some stage, Cape Hoy being one of those 3. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Once again, please like, subscribe, comment, all that sort of stuff. And keep watching. Next episode 11, takes us further up the East Coast as we head to Freycinet National Park and check out probably Tasmania's best beaches. Guys, once again, thanks. Till next time. See ya.
Heading out on our own with our hope in the clouds. We're starting to see that we're onto something. Feel it coming now. Here we go. All we need is an open route and a chance to see a never-ending world that's beautiful. Here we go with the sunlight on our skin. It's a brand new day. It's ours to take and we will let it in. This is where the adventure begins.